Hello friends, welcome to the fifth part of video lecture for the first chapter of strength of material. Here in this video, we will discussing about stress strain diagram for a ductile material. In earlier video, we are discussing about that in a stress strain diagram of a ductile material, we are going to arrange a circular bar whose diameter is uniform throughout its length. The tensile load is applied at the both ends of the bar, whose magnitude gradually increases, which leads to failure of the material. So there is a question may ask in your mind that why you are going to tensile test for material. The tensile testing of material is required to compare the strength of various materials. In tensile testing of specimen, initially there are 2 points are to be specified. The length is to be measured, that is known as your gauge length, which is recorded by the extensometers. Here we are going to record the change in length in according to that of the applied load, and we are going to plot a graph between load versus extension or stress versus strain. As I told you, there is a specimen, it is a dog bone shaped specimen. I told you gauge length, first 2 points are before the specimen is going to attach with a universal testing machine. P is the tensile load applied at the both ends. The circular cross section of the specimen is shown to you. Now we are going to fix the specimen with the two jaw of the universal testing machine. We are applying the load. The graph will be plotted. Generally, the graph starts with the origin point of graph. Origin point suggesting that no load applied upon the material, so there is no deformation in the material. The load is applied upon the material up to point A. Now the straight line will be followed by the graph with the applied load up to point A. This A point is known as your elastic limit point. From origin to that of the A point, this zone is known as your elastic zone. Means if you are going to remove the load at point A, the material can regain its original shape and size. Now, after this A point, the deformation of the material is permanent one, that is, the material cannot regain its original size and shape, which is a permanent deformation type, that is also known as a plastic zone. The load is now increasing up to point B. Now A to B, there is a curved line will be obtained, suggesting that the plastic deformation of the body is going to start. Again, the load will be increasing its magnitude from A to B, then again up to the point C. The C point from the curve is known as your upper leading point. The D point is known as your lower yielding point, means the curve or the graph plotted from point C to D is known as your yielding of material. Yielding means what that mean? This is the maximum strength of the material before its failure takes place in it. So there is a maximum point and there is a minimum point, that is upper yielding point, lower yielding point. During this period, the load is constant but the deformation takes place, and at point D, the failure of the material is started. Again, load is increasing from D to E point. Again, the curve will be shown from D to E with the application of the load upon the specimen. E point is nothing but that is known as your maximum stress point or ultimate point, means this is the point at which the maximum load that can be applied upon the material without failure. Again, we are going to increase the value above the maximum limit. Then after, the curve shown to you as E to F. Now the necking down of the material of specimen takes place. At point F, the specimen ruptures and the cup cone shape of the material takes place. Now go to summarize the stress strain curve. Already we are discussing that A point is your elastic limit point, where it is linear one, and that is your elastic behavior of the material takes place. B point is your elastic limit point, where there is two terms, one is elastic behavior, another is your plastic behavior. So elastic behavior is from B to A and A to origin. Beyond point B, the plastic deformation takes place. Beyond the elastic limit, there will be some permanent deformation, permanent set, when the load is removed. The C point is upper yielding point, the D point is lower yielding point. The strain increases without corresponding with the increase of load or stress. E point is known as your maximum tensile stress or maximum load applied upon the material. After that point, necking of the material starts. At point F, the material fractures, and this is also known as a fracture point, and the load applied is known as a fracture load, and the cup cone shape of the material takes place. Here I conclude that for the tensile testing of every material, we are going to draw the tensile stress and strain curve for each material. By studying this tensile test, we can measure the strength of each material, and before we are going to apply the load upon the material that we are going to design a part, we have to measure the strength of the part. So it is concluded that from stress strain diagram, we are going to measure the strength of the material before they are going to use any practical application. Next term is that Poisson's ratio. In earlier classes, we are discussing about that there are two types of strain. One is longitudinal strain, another is your lateral strain. Longitudinal strain means the length of the body going to change with the application of load, during change in length of the material, the diameter of the material going to be decreased, and along the diameter the strain is known as your lateral strain. Along the length the load is known as your longitudinal load, and that strain is known as your longitudinal strain. So if the material is loaded within elastic limit, during that time the ratio of lateral strain to longitudinal strain is known as your Poisson's ratio. As shown in the diagram, we are going to apply the load along the length, so due to which the diameter of the material going to be decreased. So diameter, the change in diameter to original diameter ratio is known as your lateral strain. Change in length to original length is known as your longitudinal strain. Now another example, we are going to increase the length. During this time there is a width decreases, that is your lateral strain. So now if you are going to find out the ratio of lateral strain to longitudinal strain, that will give us a proportionality limit, and that is known as your Poisson's ratio. So in the next video class we will going to explain that what is the use of Poisson's ratio. So simply Poisson's ratio means lateral strain by longitudinal strain. In every material there is a length longitudinal direction deformation, also there is a lateral direction dimension changes. So it is both longitudinal and lateral strain ratio is giving us Poisson's ratio.